Love Island said, I'm sick and tired of these islanders trying to control this game. So let me just give y'all a game, say how y'all feel about each other, and let's move on. I'm surprised that a lot of people owned up to who wrote what, because we know sometimes some people like to hide behind an anonymous message to say what they need to say and to get it off their chest. But this episode, a few people stood on business. Now let's get into it.
Kay Unscripted, no teeth restricted. In this journey, watch our stories unfold.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Kay and this is Kay Unscripted. Today I'm breaking down Love Island USA Season 7 Episode 26. There's a lot to get into in this episode, but before we do so, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel because there's more recaps like this one coming, and I need you to be here with me on this journey. Let's get this thing going. Now let's talk about what happened in this episode. Nick and Sierra, they're having a chat about their date. They're both stoked, they're happy, and just feeling good about their connection. This is how the episode started. Then we see a chat between Jaden and Brian. He finds out that she's an investigator, and he also asked Jaden what her type is. She said that she likes tall, dark, and handsome. And I'm like, but you're with Austin. Make it make sense. Now, I have a theory on this too. I feel like they both used each other to stay in the villa. Anyways, Brian said he doesn't want to waste his time on things that he doesn't want. And so he makes time for what he wants. And I'm like, the switch up is crazy because I have a feeling that Brian is saying those things because Andrina told him that she wants to explore. If she didn't say that, he wouldn't be saying the things that he's saying. Now let's move on. Huda and Nick have a chat at the dock. I don't know what kind of relationship these two have because Nick is always calling Huda out and then we see them talking and being all friendly. I'm confused. But anyways, he said he wants to get her side of the story. She said she's always been told that it's just a challenge. She's not into Ace. She doesn't want to get to know him. She has no kind of feeling or connection for Ace. And Nick tells her straight up, Huda, you crossed the line. You went too far. But while he sees her side, he also wants her to know that he's there for her if she needs anything. Huda says she won't do it again. She's learned. They hug, they're friends, everything is good. But later on in the challenge, we see something else happening, but we'll get to that. So it's now bedtime, and y'all, at this point, everyone is just trying to smash. And I'm just like I wouldn't want to hear anybody having sex around me. Like, that's disgusting. That's a little bit disrespectful. Like, take it outside, like Iris and TJ. They went outside to do their thing, okay? Anyways, it's the next day, and Ace is definitely still bringing his apology breakfast up for Shelly. He done snatched a whole branch from a tree. And I like it. We didn't see Chris bringing any breakfast for Shelly because now he's made up his mind that he only wants to explore Huda. Now, y'all, my voice is a little bit scruffy. I think I'm coming down with something, but I'm here. I'm tired, but I'm giving you this recap. Anyway, let's move on. There's a chat between Amaya and Zach. She said that she's fine with giving him his space, but she kind of feels like he has prioritized time with the guys. And for her, it doesn't make sense that she's in a couple with him when she's still feeling like she's single. He says, well, why don't you pull me? Amaya says, well, I'm always the one that's initiating it and I do not want that to continue to happen. I would love for us to strengthen our connection. Now, I don't know, Zach was speaking so fast, I couldn't understand what he was saying, but boys, slow down. Please take a grip. But she's saying that she still wants to work on their connection, and I don't see him giving her any kind of reassurance because we know he said that he's done it for Maya, he's not into her anymore. Then we see another chat with Brian and Chris. Chris tells Brian that he shared a kiss with Huda, and he also said that now he's officially taking a step back from Shelly because he hasn't seen any reciprocation from Shelly and his main focus is now Huda. Then Huda is having a chat with Olandria and Andrina, and she tells them that she and Chris kissed and he's saying that he's all into her, once he's gotten to talk to her, he feels more connected and he would like to explore with her. She says she likes Chris. He's not defensive. He's different, right? Now, on the other side of the house, the Casa girls are together. And I've kind of seen there's always been like a split between the Casa girl and the Casa girls and the Villa girls. I don't know why, but it's Grayson, Clark, and Jaden. They were having a conversation. Jaden says that she's had the best chats with Brian. And I'm like, girl, then why are you with Austin? Because that's not making any kind of sense. She does say, however, she feels like Austin was mad because she had a chat with Brian. Grayson then asked if the couples are preventing them from exploring. And Clark said, yes, definitely. For me, it's definitely a thing. And I'm like, oh, so you do want to explore? Because in the heart rate challenge, your heart race is the most for Ace. And in the beginning, it was actually Ace and Clark that were a couple. So you want to explore, but you cannot because Taylor is so stuck on you. Oh, okay. Then Olandria and Sierra have a chat. She's questioning Zach's intentions. She's not sure if he's really into her. Olandria then says that Taylor was so much more into her, like doing little things. And I'm like, girl, when? Oh, okay, because the only time he was doing anything is because Ace was telling him to, and because Jalen was there. So, okay, anyways. Now, why is Olandria still stuck on Taylor? Why is she still saying that Taylor is her strongest connection? I am tired because you know what? My throat is not about to hurt talking about how much this man is not into you. Let's move on because I'm tired. Now, Nick, Taylor, and Ace have a chat. Taylor says he's loving what he has with Clark. He said, oh, he's in his soft boy era. And I'm like, what? Is that even a thing? Now, I get it. Clark brings out the kid in him. He's feeling himself because let's be real. Do we really feel like Taylor would be able to be with a girl like Clark or Olandria? I don't think so. We've seen the kisses. He looks very much inexperienced. So I get what he's saying. He's saying that he doesn't have to be serious around Clark or have to do the serious things because guess what? Olandria's standards are way too high for him. She is out of his league. That's what he's saying. Then there's another chat between Grayson and Iris. Grayson is saying that she doesn't feel like Pepe is that invested in her. And then Iris is trying to reassure her and say, girl, he's always making you breakfast. And I don't think he would be doing all of that every morning if he wasn't invested in you. But then we see Pepe sitting with Taylor and TJ. And he's saying that he doesn't feel a spark with Grayson. He's trying to figure out how to tell her. And he said it's not about her, it's about him. Apparently, he's still missing Hannah. He's still thinking about her. And at this point, he doesn't want to drag Grayson along. Then Austin gets a text and it reads, Islanders, it's time to share your honest opinions about one another and get everything off your chest in tonight's Villa game. Stand on business. Iris gets the next text that says, you will each receive blank postcards to send to your fellow Islanders, telling them how you really feel. It's up to you if you want to sign your name or not. Clear the air and leave nothing unsaid. Now we know it got really messy really fast. Everybody's thinking about what they want to write, what they're going to say, who they're going to address it to. Now it's later on in the evening. Everybody gets dressed up. They're ready. It's time. Let's get into these postcards. The first person to go up was Austin. His first note was anonymous. I don't know how you've made it this far. You don't give any girl effort. You're just enjoying your time in the villa. Period. Clock him. Whoever it was, clock him. But it was Andrina. She said she wrote the message. He said he does agree that he doesn't know how he's still in the villa. Why is he still there, y'all? I've been asking that same question. But he said he doesn't agree. He feels like he has given effort in the relationship. And Andrina said, well, the reason why I wrote that is because you were there whining and crying about Shelly being into Ace when y'all were both exploring that connection with her. And you didn't really try. You didn't do a damn thing. And that is true. We saw it happen. Next up was Sierra. She had two postcards. The first one was to Nick and Sierra. Do you know how not quiet you are in the bedroom? She said she tries to be respectful, but you all aren't. And it's a no for me. Like, I don't want to hear that. Go outside, go somewhere else. The next one was to Shelly, Olandria, and Sierra from Pepe. I don't understand why you girls chose to send Hannah home. She is one of the only girls who truly explored an unsafe connection with another person. The logic does not make sense. Sierra says it was between Iris, Amaya, and Hannah. She felt like Iris and Amaya were not given a fair shot based on the connections that they had prior. And she felt like Pepe came in and he was adamant about exploring his connection. On the other hand, Hannah had explored two connections and clearly he got a connection with Grayson. She said she felt like Hannah would have been a distraction for him because he's now with Grayson. Now, Sierra clearly doesn't know that Pepe is not into Grayson. And the fact that his question is centered around Hannah says all we need to know. The other girls agreed with the explanation that Sierra gave, as in Olandria and Shelly, because they were also addressed in that question. So Shelly then asked him, who would you have picked, Pepe, if you were in my position? He didn't say a name, but we all know who he was going to send home. However, we remember in that discussion, he felt like Huda should have went home. But based on the names that were there, clearly it was Amaya because everything had just went down between Amaya and Ace. So we know this is who he would have sent home. Sierra then tells him like that's not fair because we know who you would send home. But he just didn't want to say it to make Amaya feel any type of way. Up next was Amaya. Well, she had two postcards. They both were anonymous. The first one was Amaya swears she don't snore but wakes me up from it. Chris came clean and said that he was the one who wrote that postcard. Everyone was laughing about it and she's like, I'm so sorry. You know, it was a fun little thing. The second postcard was, you cry more than needed. You try to move too fast for everyone. Immediately she starts tearing up. She says, people may view it as a weakness, but to her it's a strength. And if that's an issue, then she's just not their cup of tea, period. Austin wrote that postcard and I'm like, coming from a guy who gives no effort, you shouldn't be saying anything about Amaya. He's saying that once they coupled up, her emotions and her feelings were way up and it was just too much for him. She said that she's tired of people viewing this as a negative. So Ace jumps in and he says, yes, you're very passionate and all of that, but he wanted to kind of slow down the pace with the name calling and all of that. He says that it's about meeting people in the middle and what they're comfortable with. Then Brian steps in and says he's coming from a Hispanic home. That's just how they talk. And while you're saying that she should meet you all halfway, you should meet her halfway. Ace said he did, he tried. Then Zach decides to butt in and say, oh, it's too much and that's why he had to take a step back. Boy, shut the hell up because you know you used Amaya to get to the villa. She tells him, Zach, please keep quiet. Please don't speak to me because you had all the time to talk to me and let me know what you're feeling. You decide to take this moment to speak in front of 20-something people to tell me, or you decided to take a step back when you and I just had a chat and you said nothing to that extent. Zach is still trying to explain himself and Amaya's like, boy, don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. So much so that Shelly had to tell him, just leave her alone. She doesn't want to speak to you. Amaya is clearly hurt and she said she needs a break. She runs from where they are, from the fire pit. She starts crying. Sierra runs to go and check on her. We see Ace running too. And I think Ace felt bad for Amaya and he wanted to be here for her in that moment, but they told him not to. So Sierra went over. Huda was there as well. But I love Sierra so much. Say what y'all want about her because I know some people are not feeling Sierra right now. I love the way she pours into people. She told Amaya, don't let these men tell you who to be. People who know Amaya, they love Amaya. And that's on period. Okay. Now the next person to go up was Pepe. His postcard was, ever since Hannah left, have you been playing it safe until you leave the villa? And we know you don't like Grayson as much as you like Hannah, from Question mark. Now, no one said it was them who wrote the postcard, but he said he tried to explore his connection with Hannah, but then she got snatched. And of course, that doesn't feel good to him. So Grayson asked him, well, what are you doing that's making this thing continue to be brought up all the time? This is Love Island. People get recoupled. So what is going on? If you feel that way, then let me explore. Pepe didn't say too much, so I feel like maybe that's a conversation he and Grayson need to have. He didn't want to air it out in front of everybody to let them know that he's not feeling Grayson that much anymore. The next person to go up was Ace the Menace. Yes, I call him Ace the Menace. And he already looked pissed. His postcard read, Ace, if you and Shelly are so strong, why haven't you closed things off? And that came from Amaya. She owned up to it. He says that Shelly is the one who wants to explore, and if she doesn't want to close off with him, then she can continue to explore. Now, I don't think Shelly has ever said she doesn't want to close things off with Ace. I think she's very smitten by Ace. I think she's into him, but she wants him to be the one to initiate that. And clearly he was the one who was saying, I want to explore, I want to explore. So now she's getting her league back. To me, that's how I see it. The next postcard was to Ace from Austin. People have sucked up to what you say. The Ace posse doesn't go against you when it comes to Jeremiah. He was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. So Ace asked, Austin, before I answer you, what do you mean? Austin says, well, he kind of felt bad for Jeremiah. And his thing is that no one actually goes up against Ace. Whatever Ace tells them to do is what they do. Ace then asked Andrina, did she feel like Jeremiah was coming on too strong? I feel like Andrina was taken aback in that moment. She didn't expect him to ask her that, but she said yes. And he's like, well, all I did was call something out because Jeremiah was love bombing. I saw it from the beginning and I just spoke on it. You might be taller than me, but at least I have some balls to speak up. I have a heart, but you don't. Now, baby Ace was going in on Austin. Ace ate his behind up. You could tell he was waiting. He was waiting for that moment, and Ace did not play with him. Ace is not letting Austin get a word in. Now, Amaya jumps in because it's about Amaya, and she starts to confront Austin, and he's like, oh, Amaya, this is not about you. You shouldn't be talking. We're just airing out our business. Ace called him out and said to him, oh, you were telling us one thing about Amaya, but clearly you were saying something different to her. So if you want to talk about that, how about we talk about that? So Amaya is like, yeah, because I never knew you were feeling that way. So he's like, Amaya, please don't get involved. And as a matter of fact, this is what I didn't want to deal with. Oh, so you want to take on Amaya. You want to go head to head, toe to toe with Amaya. But Ace, who is another man who's clearly calling you out, you don't want to deal with him, but you want to argue with a woman. Okay, that tells me everything I need to know about you, Austin. All that smoke for Amaya, but it was crickets for Ace. Oh, okay. Let's move on. Next up was Shelly. The first postcard read, Shelly, I don't understand why you want boundaries set during challenges to us both, but you want to continue to explore things with other people, and that's from Ace. She says, well, you were the one who wanted to explore to begin with, and so am I. He said he was fine with her doing that, but giving her boundaries is what's upsetting him and his homegirls, okay? She said it was just to make them both feel comfortable. Ace is not having it. Ace, he said he doesn't get it, he doesn't understand it. And it's like, why should I hold back if you're still exploring? And when he said it that way, I understood what he was saying and where he was coming from. And I would have to agree with him on that. If you want to explore, then you cannot limit me and tell me what I should and shouldn't do. If you're closed off, then that's a different conversation. So now that he said it, I am with Ace on this one. All right, so the next postcard was to Shelly and Chris. Why haven't you had a conversation since Casa seems like avoiding? Brian says that he wrote it, and Shelly says, well, she hasn't seen the intentions with Chris being the same as it was in Casa. His words doesn't match with his actions, and Chris looked visibly upset. She had all the questions. Chris is like, what are you talking about? And Shelly corrected him. He had nothing to say because he knew she wasn't lying. The next postcard to Shelly was, do you remember saying it's just a challenge? You and Ace are still open. Clearly that was from Huda, but Shelly asked, whoever wrote that, please give context so I can understand. So Huda said, well, she wrote it, and she brings up how Shelly was always telling her that it was just a challenge when it came to Jeremiah. So Shelly said, well, that's because of the way you were acting when a new bombshell came in, the things you were saying to them. You didn't want Jeremiah participating in any of the challenges. So that is what I meant by that. Shelly said that she's given Huda so much grace, and at this point, she's just aggravated. You could tell that she is done with Huda. Whatever Huda did was really bad, and I feel like Shelly's probably feeling like, we saved you, girl. We could have sent you behind home for crashing out, for going days and days and days. And mind you, what we got to see could not compare to what was actually happening in the villa. So we saved you, and this is how you treat us. This is how you respond. I feel like this is where Shelly is coming from. Later, she does apologize though, and she says that she won't do it again. She asks Shelly to forgive her and says, if you don't want to forgive me, then that's fine. But Shelly, I don't know, it feels like she's checked out, and I don't know why she didn't accept Huda's apology, but she's over it. Up next is Huda. Her first postcard says, I feel like Hannah was robbed of Love Island experience twice, while you should have been dumped from the island, from Nicholas. And this is what I mean when I say I'm confused by their relationship. Because what is going on? You were just telling her, I'm here for you if you need anything. And you're talking about her being dumped twice, potentially, right? Now, I'm not a fan of Huda, but clearly these people are seeing a lot of things that we're not getting to see about this girl. For them to be coming on her like that. And I know people say they're bullying Huda. Nobody can bully her. Like, come on. We've seen the way she responds. We've seen the way she reacts. Nobody can bully Huda. Nick says it's not a surprise. He did vote for her twice. But again, Nick, you were also seen hugging her and telling her that you're there for her. So I'm a little bit confused as to what is going on with yours relationship. Huda then says that she has grown a lot, and everyone has kind of agreed that she did explore her connections, and so she's not doing the same things that she was doing. The next postcard read, do you think you've been following girl code when it comes to Chris and Shelly's relationship? Are you a girl's girl? Huda says this is Love Island. We are exploring multiple connections. Nobody owns anybody, especially if you are open. But girl, those rules were not set for you when you were with Jeremiah. And I know people hate that a lot of people still bring up Jeremiah, but that's the other couple she was in for the longest, and we saw the rules were different, okay? The next postcard was to Huda from Shelly. If you're going to preach about being a girl's girl, you should practice what you preach. To want loyalty and respect from your friends but not give it is crazy. You say how your intentions are in the best interest of your friends, but they're actually selfish, and I wish you'd stand on that. Shelly explains that she wrote it, and I respect it. I respect what she was saying. We haven't seen her switch up her explanation at all. She said the same things that she's been saying since the incident happened with Huda and Ace. Now, do I feel like they should have had a chat before all of that went down? Absolutely, but I feel like she's in a place where she's still upset and she's not ready to have a chat with Huda, and I can respect that. She tells her how you keep saying that you brought Chris for me, but actually you did that for you because you don't know what I want. You brought him there for you. And the fact that you actually said you're doing this for me, that rubbed me the wrong way. So then Olandria joins the conversation and she tells her, okay, you're so much for girl code. If you were really on girl code, why didn't you tell the whole class what happened, and she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, why didn't you tell everyone that y'all kissed? Well, okay, so let's play devil's advocate, right? Huda and Shelly have not spoken, so there hasn't been any opportunity for her to tell Shelly. I feel like she would have told Shelly that happened. On the other hand, I don't see anything wrong with Olandria saying that Huda and Chris kissed. And Olandria is like, if you're saying that you brought Chris in for Shelly, why would you then kiss him? If you're so much for girls' code, you wouldn't be moving the way that you've been moving. And we've seen Huda do some slimy stuff. I know y'all don't want to point out her behavior, and I just kind of feel like the people who are supporting Huda's behavior are just as toxic and childish as she is. She says she told the girls that she trusted, and she's like, oh, so I cannot kiss a guy I like? Girl, that's not what it's about. They couldn't kiss a guy they liked either. If anybody was interested in Jeremiah, and even so for challenges, they couldn't do it, and you told them not to. You praised them for not kissing Jeremiah because you would have been upset about it. Then Chris comes like, oh, it's nobody's business. I haven't said anything, liar. You told Brian. Maybe it hasn't gotten around, but you did say it. So Huda says, oh, by the way, Olandria, when I tell you something, it's between us. Don't go telling people my business. That's not your place. And Olandria said, girl, you do say sisterhood. If you say sisterhood, then act accordingly, okay? Up next was Chris. His postcard was to Chris from Sierra. Are your intentions with Huda genuine? Or do you just want a spot in the villa? Baby, he was pissed at that question. He said, first things first, yes, I like Huda. My intentions with her are pure. And I've told everybody that. Everybody about the house can say, I told you I like Huda. I don't care about being here. As a matter of fact, I could be playing ball overseas. Well, go play ball overseas. If you don't care about me, there's so much there. What? Why are you still here? The second postcard was, for a man who knows what he wants, you seem to change your mind pretty quickly. He said he wanted to focus on Shelly, but he's also been interested in Huda. Sierra says, well, I respect it. I respect you coming in here and doing what you have to do, and clearly you guys are getting along. So I'll back off and I wish you all the best. His next postcard to Chris from Shelly, the switch up is insane. If you just wanted to come to the villa, you could have just said that. She said you definitely switched up because you were saying one thing and doing another thing. And he's like, oh, I don't get to be here. I don't want to be here. Okay, boy. Up next was Olandria. And her first postcard was to Olandria from Clark. I know you think I'm just a test and that our connection is only physical, but it's way more than that. It's very real. And Olandria was like, congrats. Period. Congrats. Clark, I feel like, was kind of rubbing it in her face, and she's like, it's not a test. I don't get touchy-feely. Okay, cool. Okay, thanks. Anyways, last up was Taylor. His first postcard was, Taylor, you and Olandria have such a strong connection. How can you change up so quickly? He said that Clark gave him a feeling. You know, like a kid feeling. And Olandria was like, well, how old are you? He said 25. She's like, oh, okay. He's like, so I cannot feel like a kid? Oh, you a kid, all right. Now, Huda comes in, and I like that she stepped up a little bit for Olandria. She said, well, 3 weeks and 3 days, like, what happened? 3 weeks and 3 days. 3 weeks and 3 days. So he's like, well, I've had 3 weeks to get to know Olandria. Can't I get to know her too? Huda said, well, why do you keep telling Olandria that you would like to spend time with her and you're not? So Olandria says, Clark, do you feel like he's trying? Because he said, I'm trying. Clark was like, yes. And I'm like, girl, why are you lying? You were just saying something else a while ago. You wanted to explore, and you're like, Taylor, he's all stuck on you. Girl, please, bye. So the next postcard was, stand on business and stop acting like a little bitch, with a smiley face. From Olandria. Baby. Woo. So she said, the night of the challenge, we had a little chat and you told me, oh yeah, when I went, I wanted to kiss you, but out of respect for Clark, I didn't. And she's like, girl, I don't know if he told you that, but that's what happened. And she's like, first of all, you never spared my feelings throughout this entire thing, but now you want to spare hers. Now, Olandria went in on him. Now, I love that moment because she needed to hear exactly how Taylor feels about her to her face, because clearly he hasn't told her to her face how he really feels, but she needed that moment to air out how she's feeling. And I know people feel differently about that, but girls, say what you need to say, get it off your chest so you could move on and leave Taylor alone. She's telling him, if I moved the way you moved, Taylor, you wouldn't be here today, because when Jaden was there, I kept reassuring you, I was doing all of these things for you, and you were doing all these things for me, and now this girl gives you 3 days of attention and this is how you move. So he said, so now you want me to think for you and move for you? I'm not moving for you. I'm moving to make a connection. This is an opportunity for everybody, and it's an opportunity for me too. Baby Olandria was gagged, but this is what she needed. This is the real Taylor. He's telling you to your face that he's never been into you. He's never wanted you. Then he has another postcard that says, make up your damn mind. So he's like, well, since y'all want me to pick, I pick Clark. Baby Olandria said, round of applause. She started clapping for him. But I hope that Olandria takes this for what it is. Honey Bunch, Sweetie Poo, leave Taylor alone. Do not explore with Taylor. Even if it means that you have to go home, go home. There are still guys in the villa that you have not explored with. There's Elan, there's Brian. Please give them a chance. Get to know them. See if there's something there. Leave Taylor alone. That man don't want you. And tonight he said it loud and clear that he don't want you. He don't want anything to do with you. Now, y'all share all of your thoughts with me on this episode, because baby, a lot went down and I need to hear from you. Go ahead and like this video. Share it with a friend. Comment all of your thoughts. I'll meet y'all there. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.